at the end of this season, Ozymandis gets executed. It's just like, you were guilty. Never gets off the planet. He died off on a moon somewhere, and they're like, it never.
And the game warden comes back to Earth.
Yeah. Hey, Internet. It's Paul, it's Matt, the Dork Lords. We're here talking about Watchmen, Season 1, Episode 7, An Almost Religious Awe. That line is a reference to the comic. It was the way that Dr. Manhattan was perceived after basically single-handedly winning the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
He was perceived as this godlike figure, which, we see that played out right at the beginning of this episode.
Yes, we do.
So this episode is bonkers.
It is.
It had a whole lot of left turns.
Yep.
Some plot twists.
Sure,
some of which we at least half saw coming, but I don't know if we saw any. I would say there's 3 big things in there that I was like, oh, all right.
That's a very subdued reaction.
All right, actually, what the hell? We'll just talk about those 3 things first, and then we'll jump around to the actual plot. The first thing that I wasn't completely shocked by, but it was like, okay, that's a shocking moment, was Judd's wife is like way in on the conspiracy.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, yeah, I'll just tell you point blank. And that this is like the first time.
That's not a surprise.
It was the first time that Lori was like behind the curve.
Right.
But she's always been ahead of things. Like,
Sure.
I know this, I know that.
Yeah,
and then she just like, that,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah, and to be Mr. Stickler here, it's like, what would she have lost to tell Petey that she's going over there? He's like, what are you about to do now? And so I can't tell. Why wouldn't you tell? Why?
Because it's better than for the plot if she's out of commission for a while.
And no one knows where she is. Oh, well.
The trap door thing was obviously played for laughs.
Yes.
I was thinking the whole time, just get up. Why are you? She had lots of time to get out of the way of that trap door, but it was played for laughs, and I get it. It was a comedic scene. It was this very ancient trap door remote.
Yes.
And the idea that trap door remote's probably, because it's so ancient, she's probably had it for decades.
Yeah.
Never probably had to use it.
No, never.
And it's like, oh, it's that time.
Yeah,
I get to use it.
Yeah.
Click on which button?
Yeah.
Which one?
Maybe there's like a button, if someone knows that it's there, you can be like, oh! And it's like it's a fake one. That does nothing. So maybe she hit that one first.
Or maybe she's got like a series of trapdoors around the house.
Oh, maybe.
Like each button was like, oh, this is the kitchen one.
The help is like, oh!
Yeah, right. There's some cat. Scream! But so that was one reveal. The reveal that maybe just... if anybody predicted this before this episode, then you are the god of the internet.
Yeah.
Because the moment when Angela walks into the room thinking Will's there and it's an elephant.
Oh.
Like, what?
Well, we had thought, I think we had mentioned that we assumed her opening the door, and we thought she saw clones of Will.
Yeah, maybe clones of Will, but it wouldn't be Will per se.
Right,
but
right.
I don't think the word elephant ever came out of my mouth. That was...
No, I can attest to that.
I just remember...
I confirm you didn't have, I would have thought, is Matt having a stroke?
I'm going to go back and
Elephant!
Elephant. I bet you there's an elephant in the room, is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, have you
What's
say
the elephant in the room? Oh, well.
And I'll say McClunky.
McClunky. And then, obviously, a huge reveal at the end, of which I think we were partially on to the idea that at least Calvin was special.
Sure.
We didn't necessarily know he was Dr. Manhattan, but
No.
we're like, come on, this guy.
Yeah.
He keeps showing up.
Something's going on.
He's a kind of a name actor.
Yeah.
He's not just the happy sidekick.
No.
And so
Yeah.
the fact that he's revealed to be Dr. Manhattan was a shock, but not like, the big shock to
Was
me
the elephant.
Was the elephant. But also the fact that Angela knew it. That was the shock to me.
Right.
The whole time she's been like, yeah, I'm I'm married to Dr. Manhattan.
Yes.
And like, what?
Yeah.
So anyway, that was a huge, it just kind of, I started questioning all of the lines that I've seen up till now.
As you should.
Her reactions to things now seem
Yep.
completely different.
Yep.
For instance, when Will is talking to her, she's interrogating him.
Yes.
You know? She's taking him back to her place.
Yes.
And then he's like, "Oh yeah, no, Dr. Manhattan. He's not on Mars. He's among us.
Yeah.
And he's just disguised himself as a person."
Yeah.
And she's like, "What are you talking about?" But inside,
No, she's saying
she knows.
he's not. No one knows that he can do that, or he's not. He's never known to do that, or something. She says.
And if
that's clever.
I can't. I had to go back and watch it, I guess. But I seem to remember she brings that up to Cal, and then Cal's like, "Yeah, that's crazy," or something like that. Which,
She says like he said this.
Yeah.
And so he was like, "That's crazy."
So now it sounds like she was saying that maybe as a test, just to make sure that the block is working.
Perhaps.
I don't know. Like, why would she mention it to Doc?
Or
hey, by the way, look,
right.
imagine this crazy thing.
Yeah,
he thought you were you.
Maybe it's a test, but maybe just more like, okay, this is something that I know I can say to you because it's something that he said. And so it's one of the things I have to deal with. And this is, I know I can just say it and it's not going to have any effect.
Yeah.
So
the idea is that Dr. Manhattan at some point put some kind of a memory block in his head that kept him from, I guess, realizing that he's Dr. Manhattan.
Right.
And so he was living out life as Cal, but Angela knew there would come a time.
Right.
And this is that time.
Right.
When she was going to have to take a hammer to his head, take out the memory block. So I assume what that means is because we see some like blue light. So I assume that means that Dr. Manhattan kind of floods back. Yeah, essentially. I would assume. I remember who I am now.
Yes.
It's kind of a game changer moment here for this show.
Sure.
With 2 episodes left, you're like, okay, all right. Yeah. The part that you were mentioning, you were theorizing. As long as we're talking all these crazy things, I know we're way out of order here, but so be it.
So be it.
Going back to the White Knight.
Oh, right.
When Sister Knight and Cal were attacked in their house.
Yeah, and she pushes Cal out the way, and then I think there's a point where I guess she changes rooms or something like that.
She does. She goes in the kitchen.
I think we had assumed. I
hit the trap door button.
I certainly assumed that he escaped or that he,
hid
or something. Right, but I'm wondering if what happened was he revealed himself because she was in danger, about to be killed. Really, we see that moment.
Oh yeah. She is defenseless, and there's a person with a shotgun who intends to kill her standing over. So something happened.
So maybe I'm guessing that maybe that in extreme danger he would have some sort of way to sort of come out of it, but not in a way that like, well, I'm done, now I'm back. Like maybe just enough to
maybe like an instinctive power that he uses, but without actually knowing what he's doing, and maybe it was witnessed, and that's why because somehow the 7th Cavalry knows, or at least suspects, that it's him.
Right. Right. So that might the answer how the Silver kind of really knew, because maybe it was somebody else. I guess. Well, we don't know who was in that mass there, but maybe it was somebody else who was killed.
Right.
And maybe Judd was there and said, "Oh, okay. Let me
yeah.
tell the senator so he can upgrade his plans."
Yeah. I'd almost like to go back now and watch the Judd Sister Knight dialogue scenes.
Almost.
To see if there's.
You're not going to do it.
I'm probably not going to do it. Almost. I was like, you can do it out there, and then come back and tell us. Make the comments. Is there some little giveaway where now knowing what we know, did Judd have some kind of moment where he was like revealing that, actually I know who Cal is? For instance, there's a scene when Laurie's talking to Cal.
Right.
And it's like,
we don't see that.
We don't see it, but Sister Knight's really upset. Yes. Like, oh God. Yes. And Laurie even says something like, "Oh, Cal, he's no Dr. Manhattan," or something like that, or Dr. Manhattan was no Cal, or something like that. The way she says it is like, now thinking about it, maybe she knew. I mean,
that doesn't seem likely.
Okay, that was just a
right, because why would she still go to that thing and talk to?
I hear you.
It
doesn't make sense.
No,
in that way, but it just her lines sound very prescient now.
Yeah, and and she would have an entirely different thing to talk about when, because one of the things that I've been discovering, or at least seeing in other people's reactions, is some people seem to have a problem with the fact that it was not revealed or something.
That it was not revealed? What do you mean?
That he was Dr. Manhattan all this time, that there weren't more clues about it.
Okay.
And, if we had known more, then anytime anything would happen, we'd be like, what's going on with Cal? What's going on? When I don't think it makes sense for us to care until now.
I agree. There was enough clues to think that he was not exactly who he said
Yeah,
he was.
that's
and
good
the fact
enough.
about the accident.
That's good enough.
Which is what Sister Nice really worried about in that moment.
Yeah.
And she says, "Did Lori talk to you? Did she bring up the accent or something like that?" Nope, never came up. All right, good.
No, and it was really dealt with well in this episode when Lady True was talking to her and saying, I know a lot about memory. It's really, it's like almost impossible. Like it never happens that someone with complete amnesia. It's like, well, it does happen. It does. Because it happened to my... Yeah,
it did. Sure it did. So, Lady True knows the whole time.
Right.
All of her actions now, you have to put in the lens of Dr. Manhattan is living in that house.
Yep.
And that is that's why I'm here, probably.
Yeah.
That's why she's in Tulsa.
And presumably, I think she says it's Will that told her.
Yeah, she did. She said, Will came to tell me that the 7th Cavalry intends to kill Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah.
And take over and become Dr. Manhattan, or take his powers, maybe?
Yes.
And we don't know exactly how that's going to work, but
well, she said they would become him.
Like the idea that Keen.
And that's what Keen said.
I think Keen's wants to become Dr. Manhattan because
he
goes, "Oh, it's hard to be a white man, so I'm going to try to be blue."
Yeah.
So I think the idea is somehow maybe if Dr. Manhattan's all powerful, they could just have him give him their powers, or are they going to try to recreate the accident?
I think they're going to take the powers from him.
Intrinsic field.
Because he's talking about how he's going to die in the previews.
Yeah.
So he accepts that he's going to die, and so they'll kill him and then recreate the accident that gives, but have it be given to Keen.
I gotcha.
So that's their plan.
And then he'll be the new. Theoretically, he would be the new god power everybody's worshiping.
And then I'll make sure that everything happens for white people the way that it should.
Yeah. Which, as Lady True says, would be incredibly scary for the world.
Yes.
Yeah. White supremacists with their own Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah. So my plan to save the fucking world.
Yeah.
Or fucking plan to save the world.
So we agree now that it seems like Lady True is on at least seemingly the right side of things.
I guess, unless it was sort of like those times you see all those times you see like something really bad happening, and the villain you're used to be like, "What? I'm gonna stop him because I don't want him to be in charge. I don't want him to ruin everything that I like."
Enemy of my enemy.
Yeah.
It was not big. It was not a big surprise that Beyond is her mom. We talked about that before.
No. Yeah.
So they showed that one. They telegraphed that one coming.
Yep. And it's interesting the extent where when Lady True and Angela were talking, and she was all like, she's like, "Oh, you're doing it to your daughter," and it's like, "No, she's not my daughter. She's my mother." And it's like, let's just say everything. There's been a couple of times where it's like, "Oh, we're not gonna hide. We're just gonna tell you right." Because that's this show. It's only got
2 episodes left.
2 episodes left. They just I think they do an interesting job of like, what's going on, and then boom, here's the information. What's going on? Boom.
Yeah, like this thing at the end where Angela's talking to her husband, like, "Look, you were always great."
Yep.
She's like giving his eulogy, basically. You were awesome to me. You're a great father.
Yeah.
I'm gonna now hit you with a hammer in the head.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think something's wrong with you. Nope. Bam.
Just spelled it out. Cut to Ozymandis, who has been on trial apparently for a year. Maybe it's a year in the spinning of a moon, which is like I don't know, 3 days. That's
a good
something.
question.
But I don't know. It's probably Earth years.
I am curious. We can say what's going on, I guess. Yes, he's had a trial for a year, and they pretty much conclude that he's guilty.
Yes.
In a very kangaroo court kind of way.
And they're like, "Oh, but that's not a jury of your peers. Here's the jury of your peers."
Yeah. Oh, what do you have to say, pig?
Pigs. So his clones hate him.
It did sound pretty damning what the pig had to say.
It did.
Yeah.
It did. I was like, how did they make the pig? I guess that was a sound effect. No pigs were harmed in the making of this courtroom scene.
We can't guarantee that.
Never mind. So Ozymandias is obviously at best disinterested, at most just disheartened by the whole process of I'm not involved. He does the little the fart noise.
Yeah.
So but a year has gone by, so I think he's just trying to bide time until his message gets received and answered.
Sure.
And I do think this is happening in the past. I mean, I don't know for a fact, but I feel like it is.
Right. Well, I think it's I don't know why they're doing this whole 1 year, 2 year, 3 year thing.
Yeah.
You know, what the heck?
Every
is the
every
reason
time we
of
come
that?
back to him, it seems like another year has passed.
Yeah, so I wonder what the reasoning for
Because
that
he
is.
disappeared X number of years ago. Was it 9 years or 7 years? I forgot.
Yeah,
and maybe they're trying to count up from that.
I get, yeah, but how much is that is necessary?
I know, it's not necessary.
Why you have to like tell us like this was happened a year later? This is, you know, you could just establish. I don't know. It's weird. So I hope there's a reason for that.
So the best reason I can come up with at the moment that somehow links into what we learned, say in this episode, is Lady True's comment where she's like, "Look, I've brought back my mom.
Yep.
I gave her her mom's own memories, in fact, to bring her back. So I want her to witness this great moment.
Yes.
When I saved the world.
Yes.
But I want my parents to do it.
Yes.
And like, well, who's your dad? Is your dad gonna be here?
He's coming.
He's coming.
Yeah.
All right. So
yeah, it's hard to think of anybody else that it could be.
I mean, the three options. It sounds like it's a superhero person, if I had to guess.
Yes.
So it's either Ozymandis. Could be Dr. Manhattan, because Dr. Manhattan was in Vietnam, as we saw, and he's dating people.
And we don't know about Dan being in
Night Owl.
Yes.
Yeah. But we do know also the comedian is a possible dad, because that's
true.
mentioned in the PDP Dia from a week ago. There's like a fact or fiction about Lady True. Was she the daughter of the comedian?
Yes, right. One of the weird sort of side things that was going on was apparently Angela Blake, I think it was Angela Blake, was mad at Dr. Manhattan for not averting JFK's death, which, if the movie is based on the comic, was done by the comedian. I think it was.
Okay.
So, why wasn't he able to avert it? It's just a stupid comedian doing it.
But so, I mean, the comedian would be the biggest stretch, I think, because we just haven't seen much of the comedian in the show, except that there's a connection to Lori. Obviously, it's her dad.
Yes.
But so that would make her and Lady True like
sisters.
half sisters.
Right. Yeah, half sisters. Yeah.
If it's Dr. Manhattan, that means that Sister Night would be her stepmom or something. I don't know. Like she's married to her dad. Yeah. And then if it's Ozymandias, that shows perhaps where she gets like this amazing brain she's got, and she's she's taking over the company, and she has all the money and stuff. Has the statue of him in her garden.
Right.
So there's connections to all three of those, but I would say the most likely one, just because this Ozymandias thread is just hanging out there, and it seems so disconnected at this moment that it would maybe make the most sense that she's trying to bring her dad back somehow.
Yeah, I had thought that all this work that the 7th Cavalry is doing on portals was somehow going to be involved with that.
Right, to bring him
back. Right.
It sounds like, no, it's a Dr. Manhattan
Yeah,
thing.
It does.
Here would be where the show would just take like a really, dystopian wouldn't be out of place for this comic book, but kind of meaningless point where at the end of this season, Ozymandias gets executed. It's just like, you were guilty. Never gets off the planet. He died off on a moon somewhere, and they're like, we never.
And the game warden comes back to Earth.
Yeah. It was like, yeah, we just thought you'd be interested to know what happened to Ozymandias. Well, that's what happened.
Yeah.
No, somehow he's coming back.
Oh,
Maybe he's in that meteor that crashes to Earth that we see in one episode where Lady True buys the land.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, that's that side of things. So the main part of this episode is dealing with Angela in Vietnam. She's growing up. It's her origin story.
Yeah.
We've won the war. Vietnam's 51st state. All kinds of icons and people are celebrating, but there's also a faction that hates Dr. Manhattan and is obviously against the occupation. Well, one of those folks takes a bomb and blows up Angela's parents right in front of her.
Yes.
Not before, though, her dad gives an interesting comment.
Yes.
Because she wants to see the Sister Night video, too.
Yep.
Which is what she bases her character on, basically. It's like, that's the character. They call them black masks. It's like you take these white superheroes and you make a version that's, it's got a black hero.
Right.
And so she identifies with Sister Night. She wants to watch this tape, and her parents are like, no, you're not going to watch this. She asks why, and he's like, well, people in masks, they have something to hide.
Yep.
And that just, just totally resonates with his dad.
Yes.
He has this,
Yeah, well, yeah. Later on, when Angela is talking to her grandmother, when she mentions that, the grandmother's like, "Yeah, well, he had a tough time with his dad or whatever." He didn't say explicitly, but someone heard him who wore a mask when he was a kid, I believe is what she says.
Right. And then also the grandma, when he decides to go to Vietnam or to be a cop, they break off contact.
Yes.
So June stops talking to her son.
Yes.
Because she feels like he's taking the road of Will Reeves a bit. I think that's what I got out of it. That she thought she was losing it.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, there was some bit about it.
Like, if you go, I'll never talk to you again.
Yes. Right.
And so it's what happened.
Yeah.
So after his death, she didn't even know that he had a wife and kid, but she finds out. She goes to adopt Angela. Seems like everything's going to be great. I'm going to take you back to Tulsa.
You see, I definitely get the feeling, I think that she's like, woohoo, because they made a real point of contrasting the type of, she clearly had a very good relationship with her parents, and then she had to be in this orphanage where she's, pretty much just, disgusting.
It's a little Orphan Annie thing, right?
Yeah.
You do the thing, and I'll talk to you meanly.
Yeah.
So it seems like, this will be this moment in time where we assume that her grandma just had a heart attack and died. I don't know.
Yeah,
is there something more sinister?
Yeah, I know.
No, she must not be allowed to return. But
she
dies off screen.
I had a heart attack. Oh, it's okay. It's just a small one.
So
the big one's to come.
So the person who was gonna turn her life around essentially dies before she can do so.
Yes.
Also, we see this moment where little girl Angela has the ability to kind of point out one of the evildoers, one of the people that plotted the
ability.
Well, I'm just saying she's given the
option
chance to do it.
Yes.
Like, these cops are like, "Hey,
yep,
was this the guy?"
Yep.
She's like, "Yeah." Are you sure? So it's like, in other words,
we're
gonna kill this guy, but if you say you're not sure, maybe we let him go. She's like, "Nope, I'm sure." Take him away. Boom.
Yeah.
And that sense of justice, immediate justice, I think maybe has some kind of a impact on her. Perhaps.
Sure.
I don't know. I did notice too. A lot of parallels to her origin story to Will's.
Sure.
Parents die more or less in front of both of them.
Right.
Violently. I noticed too that she's holding this Sister Night video that she takes with her.
Yes.
From then on.
Right.
And becomes her mantra. Becomes her character.
Yes.
Well, what is Will doing at the time when the riots are happening? He's watching Bass Reeves.
Yes.
Who becomes the model for him.
Yes.
And so it's kind of interesting that they had, at the same moment that their parents were killed, they had the seeds of their heroes also in that moment.
Yeah.
So,
it's like they've said previously anyway, at least comes out of the mouth of Lori about trauma related to, someone deciding to become a vigilante or whatever.
Right.
So, they're just, the show believes it too.
The show believes it. Interestingly, in the PDP Dia, it mentions that Will bought a movie theater that he had formerly worked, and starting in 2017, basically the year that Angela took on the Sister Night persona, every Sunday he shows a midnight showing of Sister Night at this movie theater. Which kind of suggests he knew who she was at that time.
Just that, sure.
Also, it occurred to me, because that's why I was the one that last week was like, maybe Will mesmerized Captain Metropolis into giving him all his money. Actually, this movie theater is where the will was read out. So anyway, it was interesting that they mentioned that in PDP Dia. But if we believe that, I'm not saying that's a true thing.
That's where
that's where they read the will out.
Wow.
And so here's a guy with Mesmer Tech cameras.
Yes.
And he's showing. He owns a movie theater.
Yes.
it's just kind of interesting that
yeah.
this guy might be. Anyway, all right.
Wow.
So and Will did not show up in this episode.
Correct.
An elephant did, unless he's an elephant. Now, if he's an elephant, then he did. Why do we think the elephant was there? Was it just? I mean, she thought it was Will. Oh, Will is. We're erasing these memories.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Like, oh, you have someone's memories in your head. Let's pump in blood from the person whose memories you have in your head.
You get more memories or whatever. No,
yeah.
so it wasn't and why an elephant and why not like another person or a golden retriever or a hamster. I guess it's elephant brains are big.
Yeah.
An elephant never forgets. That's scientific fact.
I mean, to be honest with you, it's like I was thinking that I'd seen stuff, and maybe it's more apocryphal, but I mean, it certainly is a belief, which is significant enough to put it in a comic book or a comic book show. Yeah. No, it was a weird. Yeah. I'll just say, I was like, man, I was thinking of all the logistics of getting that elephant in there, feeding it in this little room, and keeping it around. And that's the thing I was thinking, like, that's somebody rich would do. Yeah. Like, it might be. If I had enough money to buy an elephant and then pump nostalgia jokes. It's like, we could get some dogs in here. Well, is that the only? Well, the other option is kind of crazy. You get a wing. Oh, I've already ordered it. I've ordered 3. I don't know if this place is. Oh, don't worry. We'll make sure that it's fit to have 3 elephants up here. Angela. Unfortunately, your grandfather passed away, and I couldn't save him. But meet your grandfather. It's Jumbo. Anyway, it's like we put your grandfather's memories into this elephant. So anything you say to him, he can understand. Anyway, we see that origin there for Angela, the tragedy of losing her parents, then losing her grandma. We know now, based on the trailer for next week, that she, and also the PDP Dia, she becomes a cop in Vietnam, in Saigon, and she's going to meet up with Dr. Manhattan, who, since he lives in all times, he just knows that, like, he loves her without having to actually have a courting thing. He's like, nope, I know I love you. And then they're going to stage this accident. And this is on the PDP Dia. There's the medical report from the accident that Cal has, where he has no injuries. And they're like, oh, he just must have bumped his head. He lost all his memory. Yep. But anyway, doesn't talk a lot, and this cop is here, and she's going to take care of him. He had a fascination with the Dr. Manhattan bobblehead in my office. So they just staged this thing where he's got total amnesia, and there we go, done. So that's all going to happen here while she's in Vietnam. Yes. And don't forget, we can rest a little easier about Looking Glass. True. So Agent Petey, he was sent to Looking Glass's place, looks like he's in the bunker. Yeah. And finds 5 dead 7th Cavalry folks, no Looking Glass. Interestingly, one of the 7th Cavalry folks does not have his mask on. I thought at first I was supposed to recognize that guy, and I didn't. But, so if he is somebody we should know, put it in the comments. But it occurred to me that maybe Looking Glass took his mask and is going to try to pretend to be that guy. I don't know. Not that those masks are that scarce. Yeah, or that you'd have to be that guy. Yeah. You just have to be somebody. Oh, man, it was a tough fight. Most of the guys died, but anyway, we got him. Yeah, don't go in there. It's messy. No other to check. All those guys in there. No, I mean, if he plans to infiltrate or whatever, then all he needs so I feel like that's what we're going to see. We're going to see him go, Chua, I'm stopping this or whatever, or try to anyway. Probably. I mean, possibly. We do see the 7th Cavalry was watching the house, so they know that when Angela returns to, kill a cow and take the cavalry are there in that moment. Right. So that's probably an attack. It's hard to believe that the scenes that we saw of the fires, of rifle shots and all that, and Angela trying to protect, that doesn't happen soon after the start of the show, I would expect.
That doesn't. You mean
that it does happen? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think it does. You're right. I agree. I think it's pretty quick.
Because you probably don't want to. I mean, 2 episodes. You don't want to have too long him be on the lam, just trying to, forestall things.
No, it's interesting. And then if he comes to full power, then you're like, you have to keep limiting Dr. Manhattan.
Sure.
I think, for this show to work.
Yeah.
If he's ever just unbound and can make any choice he wants.
Well, yeah, and
then he can
obviously
just
they have
solve
some
the
sort
problems.
of plan where they can, trap him or whatever. So
Yeah.
whatever they do, it has to work. And the fact that he's already said, at least in terms of that he does expect to die. So really, they have to
Yeah, if he
somehow
knows the history already laid
stop
out.
the senator from becoming
Right.
the
Right,
next
good point.
Dr.
So you
Manhattan.
feel like it's going to... Dr. Manhattan dies, but they just keep a new Dr. Manhattan from forming.
Yeah,
That's what you're saying.
that's what I believe.
Okay.
I can't see. I mean, either that or then, somehow Lady Truth's clock could be effective in stopping.
Right, so
the
we
new-
still get the idea that she's sending out some kind of mesmer tech.
Right.
I'm not sure how that stops the 7th Cavalry plot,
Yeah.
unless the 7th Cavalry are watching the TVs, and then they get,
Right.
like, don't hurt anybody, or I
Right.
don't know, maybe. But we'll find out soon. There's only 2 episodes left. I know we jumped around a bunch in there, but any other like major points we should hit on before we?
Okay. Oh well, I guess we didn't talk too much though about the meeting that Keen had with
Keen with Laurie.
Yeah, Laurie.
Yeah, so Laurie's like, "Oh, you're gonna do the villain
Yes.
monologue.
Yes,
Just
yes.
skip it."
Yeah.
He's like, "No, I must tell you things." So
You got that part wrong. Ah.
So Keen is involved. It sounded like Judd was involved.
Yeah,
too.
yeah, it does actually. I it's like I gave them credit for what he was telling Looking Glass. For like,
Right.
oh, we intend to keep the peace. Oh, these knuckleheads or whatever. But he doesn't mention his crazy plan
Right.
of rebalancing the racial.
Yeah, and Keen's like, "No, it's not a racial thing." It's, I forgot how he put it, but he's like, "No,
Yeah,
we're
I'm
just
not
gonna-
a racist. I just do things that racists do and
Yeah.
believe things that racists
Tough to be a
believe.
white guy.
Yeah, tough to be. Oh, poor. Yeah.
I'm going to rebalance things
yeah.
by becoming the all-powerful
Yeah,
Dr. Manhattan."
yeah,
But
yeah.
no, but it's not.
No, it's not. That doesn't make me a racist.
No.
No.
So he's full-on evil guy now.
Yes, he is.
And we knew that. I mean, we knew that a while back.
Sure.
But also when he makes the deal with Looking Glass, the fact
Right.
that it sounds kind of rational.
Yeah.
Hey, look, we just want. But immediately,
And
as soon as they
their
get what they
plan,
want,
yep.
kill him.
Go kill him. Yeah.
They had no intention of honoring anything.
No.
So yeah, it's up to Team True to take on the bad guys, I guess.
Brad, hopefully that they don't have something else on their minds that makes you want them to be foiled.
Right. Is it
With
two?
this
Is
clock.
it 2 terrible forces that
Yeah,
are
yeah,
competing,
yeah,
and then the
yeah.
winner does terrible things?
Yeah.
Squid 2. So yeah. Anyway, it is exciting. I did not see some of those twists coming. I was kind of like in shock a little bit after watching that episode. So let us know how you took all that information in this episode, and we'll be back chatting about the last 2 episodes of Watchmen. Next up, we're talking Mr. Robot.
Yes.
So thanks, everybody.